Hey guys, so in this video we're going to do what's called expanding the binomial. I know you guys are seeing this and hearing me say the words expand the binomial and you're immediately freaking out because you did not sign up for a math class, you signed up for a genetics class. I hate to be the one to break it to you, but there are 3 or 4 times in genetics where you have to be able to do some math to do well in genetics. This just happens to be one of those times, but I promise by the end of this video it is not going to be that bad. So the first thing is like, okay, so why am I going to need this in genetics? What's the situation this might be important? Well, first thing I'll ask you is what's the chance that you have a boy? Right, you have 2 people, they have a baby, and what's the chance that baby's going to be a boy? 50%, right? That's easy. Chance it's going to be a girl, the other 50%. What if I asked you 2 babies, both boys? Well, I said boy and boy. We're going to use our multiplication rule because I said the word and, right? And what we're going to do from there is 50% times 50%, 0.5 times 0.5, 0.25, or 25% chance you have 2 kids, they're both guys. But what if I said we're going to have 6 babies, 5 of them need to be boys, and 1 of them needs to be a girl? Well, I can't just do the same thing over and over again. I can't just multiply 0.5 times 0.5 times 0.5 because that's not quite specific enough. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to plug this into this formula here. And I'm going to write down what each of these are supposed to mean. So A equals percent of boy. So the percent chance that we have a boy. B is going to be the percent chance we have a girl. And N is going to be number of babies. So I'm going to go ahead and just as a general question, A is going to be the percent chance of thing 1, B is going to be percent chance of thing 2. We could have switched this. You guys will see that it won't really matter which order we put A and B in. N is the number of trials in general, right? If you were doing something else like throwing a football at something, it would be the number of times you threw that football. Here we're talking about the number of boys and the number of girls that you're going to have, so N is going to be the number of babies. So what we're going to do is the percent chance of a boy, you guys already said, is 0.5, and the percent chance of a girl, you guys said, is 0.5. So 0.5 plus 0.5 to the 6th power, right? That's what we want. That's the binomial we're going to expand. Take note here that just because our percentages here are 50-50 doesn't mean they will all be. So make sure you guys are keeping track. If it's not 50-50, you guys are keeping track of what's A and what's B and where those percentages go, because that'll be important once we start expanding this. So for simplicity's sake, I'm not going to mess with the 0.5s right now. I'm going to go back to A plus B to the 6th, and what's going to happen is I'm going to end up plugging that 0.5 in once I find the term that I actually want, right? So we want 5 boys and 1 girl. So what I'm going to do here, you guys probably remember hearing something about Pascal's triangle, that big triangle that tells you what coefficients to put in front. Don't worry about it. The thing is that your professor could give you a number that's really big as this number of trials up here, and if that's the case, then maybe you didn't memorize Pascal's triangle that far. And why would you want to memorize Pascal's triangle anyways when there's just a simple math problem that'll help you get through this a lot easier? So the first part is the easiest part. We're going to go through and we're just going to put down our A's and our B's, and then we're going to worry about the coefficients at the end because those are a little bit tougher. So A's and B's here, we're going to start out with A, and I'm going to say A to the 6th, right? And then it would be B to the in this case it would be 0 because it's the first term, and we're going to start out A to the 6th, B to the 0. B to the 0, anything to the 0 is 1. 1 times anything is that thing, so I'm just going to leave out B here instead of putting 1. The next thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to leave room for coefficients, you're going to see me subtract 1 from A, and that 1 from A is going to go to B. So every time I make a new term, A is going to lose 1, B is going to get 1. So here I've got A to the 5th, B to the 1st, or just B. And then next I've got A to the 4th, B squared, plus A to the 3rd, B to the 3rd, plus A squared, B to the 4th, plus A to the 1st, B to the 5th, and finally just B to the 6th. Alright, so this is the expanded binomial without the coefficients. That wasn't that bad, right? Good? Cool. So what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to write in our coefficients, and I'm going to go all the way through. I'm going to show you guys why you don't always need to go all the way through at the end, but just so you guys get a feel for what's going on, what I'm going to do here, there's a simple formula. I'm going to take this number times the number that's in front of it, and I'm going to divide by the term. Okay, so that sounded a little bit confusing, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 6, and because there's no number out here, I'm going to multiply it by 1, and then I'm going to divide by the term number. So because this is the first term in our whole binomial, I'm going to take that and I'm going to divide it by 1. So 6 times 1 out here, divided by the first term, so divided by 1, just gives me 6 right here, right? Everybody good with that? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 5 times 6 is 30, and then I'm going to divide, because it's the second term, I'm going to divide by 2, and I'm going to get 15. What about 15 times 4? 60. Third term, this is going to be 20, right? Because we did 15 times 4, 60, and then divided it by 3 because it's the third term, and I got 20. It kind of looks like a 1. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to get 3 times 20 is 60, divided by the fourth term is 60 divided by 4, back to 15, and now I'm going to go from here. 2 times 15 is 30, divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 30 divided by 5 is back to 6. 6 times 1, and remember, we're only doing A here. Only do the front term. Don't worry about the back term. So I do 6 times 1, because that's what A is, and that's 6 divided by, that's the sixth term. So this one out here in front of B is going to be 1. So you guys hopefully noticed that this is symmetrical. So even if you have to do the whole thing, once you start, you're going up, and once you start going back down, you can just copy it from the other side, right? And that's a good way to check and see if you're doing this correctly, is go all the way through and see if you do end up symmetrical. So we have 1 on the outside, and then 6, and then 15, and then 20 here in the middle. Okay, so this doesn't look like an answer, right? This is not going to be one of the answer choices on the test. So what you have to end up doing is you have to circle, we got to find the one that we actually want. We want A to equal 5 and B to equal 1, right? There it is, A to the 5th, B to the 1st, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 6. This term is going to give you your answer, right? Whichever one you decide on. And that's why I said earlier that you don't actually have to go all the way through. All you have to do is you have to go until you find the right term number, right? In this case, we could have stopped it after the second one, but had I said 3 boys and 3 girls, we would have had to go all the way here and do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 6, I'm going to multiply it times 0.5, right, to the 5th, and then I'm going to multiply that times 0.5 to the 1st, right? Because that's B to the 1st right there. I didn't do this math ahead of time. I don't know what 0.5 to the 5th is, but whatever number you get here will be you multiply by 100 to get a percentage, and that is the percent chance that you will get 5 boys and 1 girl if you have 6 babies. So you guys feel free to go through here and try any other one, but that's it for this video. I hope you found this video really helpful. The concepts and information presented in these videos will be true no matter what genetics class you are taking. However, the concepts in this video are referencing material from this specific textbook. Remember, if you are a currently enrolled Baylor student, we offer free tutoring on the first floor of Sid Rich. You may schedule a free 30-minute one-on-one tutoring session online or just drop in during normal business hours. For more information about our services, please visit our website, www.baylor.edu/tutoring. Thank you.